Hello, this is going to be a short, about 20-minute practice for those of you in the level 3 yoga class, the mat class. Know that you don't have to have yoga props at home. You could use carpeted floor, works just fine. If you don't have a blanket, any small pillow or beach towel works great for that. Blocks could be substituted by a box that's just closed box, small box, or 2 books that are rubber banded together to make about a block shape. If you don't have a strap and you want to use a strap for something, any necktie or belt or robe sash works great for a strap. So we're going to go through some of the basic poses that we do in class just so that you can keep up with your flexibility. Give yourself a few moments of the day to focus on something that you can control, which is your own practice and what's going on within, and so that we can have this time together even though it's virtual time. So go ahead and lay down on your back. If you would like something under the head, of course, put something there. Let's rest our hands on our belly and take just a few moments to check in. So notice how you feel. With this time of uncertainty, there might be a lot of high running emotions, and that's normal. See if you can observe yourself without falling into the story around what you're feeling. And as other extraneous thoughts come to distract you from what you're doing with your practice, just ask them to wait. You will get to them later. Set them to the side for right now. Give this time to yourself. Let's take the right knee to the chest and slide the left leg long. And then moving through our floor flow, let the right knee move out, let the left arm move out. You might want to prop up your elbow on the ground. And then bring the knee across the body, let the other arm reach out and do a bit of a twist. Return to the middle, clasp the hands behind the thigh and lift up that leg. If the hamstring feels very tight, feel free to go up and down with the foot. Then breathing out, let the knee come back into the chest. And then as you breathe in, let the leg come down and stretch the arms up and over the head. Now I have blocks back here that are giving me something to rest on. That's not absolutely necessary. And then exhale, bring the knee into the chest again. Other side, right arm out, left knee out. Let the knee come across into a twist. Bring yourself back into the center and lift up the foot. And then lift up and down if that is feeling good on your hamstring, before letting the knee come back into the chest. As you breathe in, lift the leg down, lift the arms up and the leg down, and then let's go back through that with our breath speed this time. So as we breathe in, we stretch. Exhale, right knee to the chest. Inhale, right knee out. Exhale, knee comes all the way across. Inhale to the center, lift up the foot. Clasp your leg. Exhale, knee to the chest. And inhale, lay the leg down and stretch the arms. Then exhale the left knee to the chest. Inhale, the knee out. Exhale, bring the knee across the body. Inhale to the middle and lift up the foot. Exhale, bring the knee to the chest. Inhale, release the leg down and stretch the arms, and then let the arms come all the way back down to the sides. Bring the feet under the knees, and let's go into a hip stretch. Right ankle over the left knee, rotate the thigh outward. Give a bit of a press to the inside of the thigh as you flex your foot. Let that go. Draw the belly in, lift up the legs, stabilize knee and foot or the back of the other leg. Flex that right ankle as you hold here. If you want some movement, a slow right to left motion might feel good. As the knees go right, it becomes less intense, and as they go left, you'll feel it more. Then release that foot. Let the other leg uncross and lay down before dragging it back, foot under knee. Other side, left ankle across the right knee, left hand gently pressing into the inner thigh. Flex the ankle. Release the press, draw the belly in, and stabilize the leg. Clasp behind your right thigh if necessary, and maybe a slow rock. Or you can hold in the center. Letting that go, land on the right foot, extend the left leg for a moment, and then bringing that foot back under the knee. Let's take any large pillow out from under the back of the head. Hopefully you have at least carpet or a mat to put your head down on. Bring your elbows down beside your waist. Make a fist with both hands and get your feet right under the knees. We'll push up into bridge pose. Let's do 3 of those. So press the pelvis forward and up, lengthen through the tail, and then let yourself come back down. Try to keep the head down the whole time, pressing and lifting. Lengthen the spine, and then come back down. And try one more. Let's hold it for a few breaths. Lift up, press into the feet, and hold here. Now if this elbow bent position, you want to try something different, the palms might reach down to the floor. You're going to feel some fatigue start to set into the outside of the hips, so when that starts to happen, maybe take one last breath before coming all the way back down. Then to release from that, feet are out to the edge of the mat, arms are going to reach out of the way, and let the shins move side to side. Windshield wipering those legs 2 or 3 times to release the outer hip. And then back into the middle. Let's take a roll over to one side. Take a breath on your side before you come up, and then press slowly up to a seated position. If you're on a hard floor at home, you might want to put something soft under the knees, like a blanket or a towel. And you will need some sort of support under the hands for this as well. So a few small closed boxes or some books that are rubber banded together work great. Come up onto the hands and the knees. Let's go into a bit of a lunge. So if we'll put our right foot forward and have the hands up high, and then lean into the lunge. So you want to feel the stretch in this hip. And remember, there's many variations of the lunges. So you can try leaning more forward. That will be slightly easier. The more upright you come, the more you will have to balance. You can try holding onto the knee even and not using the blocks if you like. And then the last position would be to raise one or both arms over the head. One arm, use your back leg arm so you get that nice arc. Make sure the belly is lifted if you decide to take both of your arms up over the head. Take a breath in there. Then as you breathe out, find the blocks again. Let's shift the blocks back. Make sure they're on a surface, not half on and half off of a surface. And then extend the front leg forward, press the ball of the foot out, and then gently fold over the front leg, just a bit. Let's try that whole thing one more time. So bring your foot under you, lengthen up through the spine, hands can come to whatever position feels appropriate. Taking a breath at the top, actively drop the tailbone, and then as you breathe out, find the blocks, extend the front foot, pull the hip back and away as you reach forward with the heart. And then come back to the center and let's switch sides. So however works for you, step back and forward until you're back on the left leg forward lunge. Same thing, lift belly, try balancing on the shin, hands to a different position if you'd like, support the arms as they raise up, and then hands to the blocks. Extend the front foot, ball of that foot forward, any amount, angle forward over the front leg. A bit of a hamstring stretch there. And then plant the foot down, upright the torso. Perhaps the hands want to raise. Shoulders are settled. And then back to the blocks. And extend the front foot and angle forward. From that position, if it's all right for you to stand up from this side, go ahead. Shift the blocks again to the front foot. Back toe goes under. Take that back knee off the floor and then step over your cushion. Bring your elbows up onto your knees and just pause here in this forward bend. Knees are bent a lot, hips are back, spine is still nice and straight. And then from that position, pull the belly in and press the spine all the way up to standing, rolling those shoulders as you come up to the top. So let's try a bit of balance. If you can move your soft prop off of your mat so that it's not in your way. And then remember, you can use your blocks for tree pose, or you could use a wall for tree pose. So if you want to go to a wall or to the back of a chair, hold on. If you want to try to challenge yourself, you could try doing it in the center of your room. So bringing the feet around your blocks, and the blocks are optional, and giving yourself a moment just to settle. Lean just a bit from side to side and see how the two hips feel. You'll likely find that there's a side that feels a little less happy about having all the weight on it. So let's do the easier side first. So for me, that's my left. I'm going to pick up my other foot. Ball of the foot is on the top of the block. My heel is resting on my other leg. Make sure that there's contact between the leg and foot. And then this knee is going to relax slightly out, but it's still not completely out to a 90 degree. My pelvis and my shoulders are facing forward. I'm going to try to squeeze in with this standing leg, and then the hands come to the heart. Now, arms can do many different things here. And in fact, one interesting way to challenge your balance is to move your arms into different positions. They can either move symmetrically or non-symmetrically. So if you go symmetrically, it's going to be easier. If you try to do something that's not symmetric, it's going to be more challenging. So you can play around. Remember your gaze point. Try to stare at something that's not moving around to help you stay a bit more quiet in the mind. Then come back to a position where you're doing something calm with the hands, hips or heart. Take a couple of more breaths. Feel that you are feeling the center plumb line of your body. When you're finished, let's brace on the hips and step around the block and then just stand. Now, to release this outside hip, take a step wide and just rock the hips to one direction and the head and shoulders to the other direction. Go ahead and go back and forth with that. And then back to the center, bringing the feet under you again, pausing, put the weight in the other hip and foot on the block. So if you don't happen to have blocks, you can just put your foot on the floor or on the calf. Try not to go heel above the knee, keep it below the knee. Pelvis and shoulders face straight on, and then again, find a centered place to stand. Try to stand up taller. Once you've got some balance, Then you can try to add some things if you want to reach one or both of the arms into a different position. They can even go up higher or stay somewhere more centered. Try not to struggle to balance. You know how to balance. Let your body find its center. Listening to your ankle and hip on that other side. When it is telling you it's time to come down, go ahead, brace, and step out a little wider, and let's just rock hips from side to side. And then coming into the center. I'm going to move these blocks just a little bit off the mat so they're not in the way. Stay facing the long side of your mat, or face the long side of your mat or the long side of your space, and take your feet out to the sides. Now find a distance wide enough that you have to work at it just a little bit, but you're not feeling like you're out of balance. So let's do warrior, our warrior series. Turn your right toes out to 90 degrees. And then turn the left foot in a little bit, toes in, heel out. So your pelvis angles toward the corner. Take a breath in, stretch the arms out to the sides, settle your shoulder blades, and then bend just your right knee. And you can look to the right, straighten that knee, and then let the arms come back down. Now, if you feel like your feet are not wide enough, if your knee went way past your toe, that can hurt the knee. So you may want to go a little wider to a comfortable amount. And then again, inhale and reach out, and then exhale and bend. Notice that the torso stays in the center. We're not leaning forward. Now see if you can do both of those movements at the same time. So on the inhale, lift and bend at the same time. And on the exhale, come back to at the same time. One more like that and stay in warrior two. Option to go into reverse warrior, but before you do that, make sure the back leg is nice and straight and strong. The back hand goes down, the front hand comes up, and you can lift it over the head or even bring it to the chest and lean slightly back, and you're going to feel more stretch in the back thigh. Take one more breath. Bring that front hand down to your knee. Let the torso lean over to that side, back hand to the hip, or reach it up and over your ear. A modified side angle position. You could also brace elbow on the knee, whichever feels better. Try to feel like you are not allowing your weight to crash down toward the floor as much. You feel lifted, and then release. Turn the foot. Check out how your feet are lined up. Make sure that the toes are lined up so the second side feels balanced. And then go ahead and change sides. Left toes turn out. Right toe turns in. Bend the right knee. Make sure that knee feels happy. It's pressed slightly toward the pinky side of the toe. Arms can also reach out. So with that little pattern we did, we inhaled out, exhale, bend the knee, inhale, straighten the knee, exhale, arms down, out, bend, straighten, down. Now do them together, out and bend, down and straighten, and go into it this time and stay there. Good. Option to lean back into warrior reversed. Reach up with the front hand, down with the back hand. This hand can also be on the heart. Back leg straight and strong. Front knee still bending. And then back out and over to the other side. Hand to the knee or elbow to the knee. This hand, back hand to the hip or over the ear. And find a comfortable place here. Take another breath. And one more. And then relax yourself back up to the standing position. Turn your feet in and go ahead and let the feet step back together. From your standing position, let's relax the shoulder blades. Come up over to the side. So let one arm come up to the top of the head. Let the other hand reach down towards the knee. And then your arm can sort of reach across, or it can stay here at the head. So get a lovely stretch down the side of your body. and then release back to the center. And then other hand to the head, lift up, lean over, and pause. Maybe reaching out. And releasing back to the center. Let the arms reach up over the head, big stretch up. Knees bend, and then go ahead and come forward. Find those knees again, and then let the hands crawl down the shins, brace on the elbows with the knees if that's helpful, and stretch the lower back. And then from that position, go ahead and come down to the floor. So you're going to be facing this long side of the mat. Take the hands down, use your blocks if necessary, come down, and then sit. So let's do a seated twist. I do have a bit of a seat cushion here to sit on, a blanket. I'm just going to bring the folded end of that underneath my sit bones so it lifts up my spine, helps me to sit up better. And then let's take the feet out in front of us. One ankle, we'll let the right ankle be, or rather knee, be up first. I'm going to take my left ankle and bring it under and let the thigh come down. This can also be supported by a block if necessary, so it might look like that. The right foot is going to step in front of the left ankle so that I can hold on to this knee. Lengthening the spine, allowing the abdomen to come onto the inside of the thigh, and then starting to turn toward that thigh. My opposite arm is going to go in front of the shin. Don't go over, not necessary to go that far. And lengthen the spine. The other hand might come behind. Now, depending upon how this is feeling in the arm that's giving the support, the elbow might need to go more around the shin if that feels better on your shoulder. So turn the head into the twist to start out with, and then let the head go the other direction. Let the chin relax down. Make sure the shoulders are both relaxed down, and feel how the right side of the abdomen is feeling pretty compressed in this position, and the left side of the back is not. Take a couple more breaths. And then lifting the face back to center, walking your arms back around. Go ahead and let this leg drop out. Switch to the other side. So the leg that dropped out, you can bring that foot closer to your thigh, and then bring your left foot onto the floor, and your left knee should be straight up. I'm going to wrap my elbow around the knee, belly is on the inside, other hand is going to come back to the floor behind me, and I lift and I turn. Feel broad across the shoulders and the collarbone, so there's not so much compression happening. And then option to let the head go into the opposite direction, and the chin might come down. And just feel again that this is very asymmetric. Where does the breath feel compressed? Where does the breath feel free? No pain anywhere in the ribs. And then carefully coming back out of it. Turning back to the front, let's take the knee that you just had on the floor. Go ahead and let that stay rolled out. The other leg, you're going to straighten it out. So I've got my foot on the inside of my opposite thigh. I'm going to sit up very tall. Again, on the end of the sit bones on the end of the blanket. My hands are pressing my spine up. This might be as far as you want to go into this little forward fold. If you feel like going any farther, consider walking the hands in front of you. From the pubic bone to the chin, you're tall, and then you tip forward. Press down into the floor with your thigh, the straight thigh. Take 3 or 4 breaths. And then bring yourself back up. Use your belly to help you do that. Press the thigh, lengthen the spine, and come forward one more time. This time take a few extra long exhalations. One more. And then drawing the belly in and sitting up. And then go ahead and change legs. So I'm going to angle my belly toward the straight foot, lengthening up, boost if you need to from behind, or hands to the front, and then softly come forward. Just to a place where you notice that the hamstring is feeling some stretch. Back, not so much. A little bit in the back. Nice long breath. Then lifting up, taking a break for a moment. You can even bend this knee before regrounding, re-lengthening the spine, and coming back into it. Long exhalations. Belly to the spine, sitting back up again, and then bringing both of the soles of the feet together. Here's again where blocks might need to be under the knees. You can also just hold the knees if necessary. You don't want to push down on them. Hold the ankles and relax out. Sit up very tall through the spine. If it feels good, you could also add just a small amount of tipping forward. And then back up to center. Okay, gather up the knees. Go ahead and come off of your cushion. If you want to use it for the end, you might roll it up to be under the knees or put it under the head. Lay on the back once again. Find your block substitute or your block. Bring your heels in, lift your hips up, and slide that under your pelvis. Check out where it is. It's perpendicular to the length of your spine. It is not above your waistband, and it's not hanging underneath the tailbone, so it's between those 2 points. And then let the body just rest here on this block so the back gets a bit of traction. Now as you rest, you might find it helpful to rest the hands on the body so that you can breathe consciously. Without judging yourself, notice how well you've been able to stay focused on your practice. Every time other thoughts come into the mind, just lovingly bring your mind back into your practice. Back into how you feel physically, back into how your breath feels. And then let the feet step in and take that block out from under the back. Land, feet out to the edge of the mat, arms out of the way, and again, rocking the thighs from side to side a few times. Check in with your back. If there's anything else that you need, maybe the knees would like to come into the chest for a moment before you let your legs straighten out. So if you do have a pillow or something soft, you could roll it up, if it's a blanket, and lay it underneath where your knees are going to go. Just to make your back feel more relaxed. You could also use it under the head. So relax the body into just a relaxed shape. Arms out to the side, palms up. Shoulders might be tucked under a bit. feet relaxed out to the sides. Give yourself just a few moments of rest to integrate what the practice offered, both in body and in mind and in your nervous system. So begin to take a few deeper breaths in and out. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Allow the knees to bend. Roll over to one side. Take a breath on the side before pushing yourself back up to a seated position. So I hope that this practice was helpful, and I look forward to the time that we get to practice in person once again. Namaste.